This is a startling sight in a democracy. A deadly wall on the road to the national capital to keep out protesters. In India, the right to dissent is guaranteed by law. Farmers have for months been opposing new agricultural bills. During these largely peaceful protests, there have been internet shutdowns, and activists and journalists have been jailed. Reporter Mandeep Punia was arrested while covering the protests. Out on bail now, he's accused of assaulting policemen. Here, he's seen being taken into custody. Mandeep tells me he was beaten repeatedly with batons. Those of us showing what's really happening on the ground are being targeted by people in power to intimidate us, he says. Over the past few years, India has seen repeated crackdowns on people critical of the government and its policies.
With these farmers' protests, though, for the first time since Narendra Modi became Prime Minister in 2014, India's actions have grabbed widespread international attention. Foreign celebrities and governments have urged this country to uphold democratic rights and freedoms.
Climate activist Greta Thunberg was one of them. She also shared a file which listed ways of supporting farmers. A criminal investigation was started over the document. And now, Indian police have arrested this 22-year-old woman Disha Ravi for editing the file. She's charged with sedition, which carries a life sentence. Many of those who've campaigned with Disha took to the streets.
Today what we are seeing is the central government decides to attack young people, innocent people, and frame them in all sorts of ridiculous charges, and also go across the world and frame Greta Thunberg and everyone else who works with her as having a grand conspiracy to destroy India. Come on.
Accountable and hypocritical.
Nidhi Razdan is one of India's most prominent journalists.
This government doesn't take kindly to criticism. It does not take kindly to dissent. And that has been a pattern now over the last few years. We are the world's largest democracy. But at the same time, what we are seeing increasingly over the last few years is a backsliding of that democracy.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi doesn't hold press conferences. His party didn't want to speak to the BBC.
Foreign destructive ideology.
In Parliament, there was a strong pushback against foreign commentary on what the government says are internal matters for India. But civil liberties are universal, says Supreme Court lawyer Karna Nandi.
When there are young black people that are shot in the United States by police officers, this is a universal human rights issue. When the junta takes over in Myanmar, when there are free speech crackdowns in my country, that is an international human rights issue.
Many in India continue to challenge the government, but increasingly they're doing so in a climate of fear. Yogita Limaye, BBC News, Delhi.